Well, we don't have specific, at the moment, we don't offer language courses. We work with the Ministry of Education in supporting, improving the teaching of English in schools in all over Algeria. And we don't have courses that we offer directly. However, we have a lot of resources which are available to everybody. Most of them are available on the internet, and we can give you a link to those resources. And we are also launching a free online course, correct me if I'm wrong, which will be supported by some qualified teachers of English with either telephone or email support. And again, my colleague can give you the details of those courses, but they're not specifically for journalists. They're general English courses. Yes. However, within, if you look at the British Council resources online, you will find that there is a section which is called Professional English, and you may find a lot of language there which is particularly relevant to journalists. Well, as I say, at the moment we don't offer courses. I mean, perhaps what we could do, if there are a group of journalists who are really interested in improving their English and you have a similar kind of level, perhaps we could look at the possibility of designing some kind of course. No? Be possible? Yeah. Yeah? We could have a further discussion about that. You were asking about the last competition. I think the last competition was very interesting because on the surface it was all about the learning of English. I mean, as you know, there were a series of 22 articles, 20 articles, one for each Premier League club in the English, Football Premier League, which told a story about that club and the work that they have done in their city or within their community. And there were a number of questions that tested students' English. So it was a very good opportunity for students at intermediate level to test and improve their English. And it also provided materials for teachers to use with their students in class. But I think the articles had another value, and that is that, as I'm sure you know, in the 1970s and 1980s, English football was plagued by violence and hooliganism and by racism. And the Football Association of England and the government and the police and community groups all got together to try to fight this problem. And in a way, the articles tell the story of how the clubs reconquered football for the community and gave it back to the community as a family sport. And the articles tell the stories of how different clubs worked in different ways, but always with the community. Sometimes, for instance, setting up clubs for young teenagers who otherwise might be in the street, causing trouble, trying to encourage girls to play football, working sometimes, let's say, with the disabled, and at the same time constantly getting this message across that violence is wrong, that racism is wrong. And of course the situation isn't perfect. I'm sure there are still problems, but it is very much improved. And whereas 25, 30 years ago, very often, for instance, black football players would be mocked or laughed at by some of the supporters, that kind of action nowadays is unthinkable. And I think a proof of this is that the British Council, besides the articles, also made a DVD with interviews of foreign football players who play in the Premier League. Players from Africa, from Latin America, from Asia, and it asks them about their experience of living in Britain and playing for an English an English club. And of course, some of them talk about problems that they have, but none of them complain about racism. And one of the things they all say is how welcome they have been made to feel by the fans and by their community. And I think a further proof of this might be that a great Algerian football player, Magic Majid, is very much loved by the people of Glasgow. I would, shall I carry on in English? I would like to thank you for those very words, and we feel equally about the partnership. It's a very valuable, important partnership for us. It enables us to reach hundreds of thousands of Algerians and to offer them some support in their learning of English, which we recognise is very important. We want to continue to try to do more. The British Council is constantly producing new materials, new resources to be delivered either through newspapers or sometimes through other media, such as on the internet, electronically, even by mobile phones and by radio. But we recognise that the الشروق has a very, very important role in Algeria as the largest circulation newspaper, and is very respected and has great influence. And we're very proud to be working with الشروق, and we hope that this piece of cooperation will be one more in a long line of cooperation that will become ever stronger. I would also like to thank your colleagues and my own colleagues, Lamia Ben-Sari and Jancis McGrady, because they have worked very, very hard with your colleagues to enable this to happen. It's a team effort.
يقول أنه يود أن يشكر طاقم الشروق، طاقم بريتش كونسل لتعاونهم سوية في جعل هذا المشروع ممكنا، ويعتقد بأن هذا عمل جماعي مشترك بيننا جميعا لكي يتم نجاح المشروع.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. No, he doesn't know what he's committed it to himself to. The الشروق newspaper will pay the British Council.
شكرا.
شكرا. Oh, sorry. It's hard to say.
Donc, خلاص سبتمبر إن شاء الله.
إن شاء الله.
أوكي. Merci beaucoup.
شكرا لك.